Peace and blessings, beautiful kings and queens, gods and goddesses. I hope you are having an amazing Wednesday. And if you're not, I hope that it starts right now on the Ankh Living podcast, hosted by yours truly, KiMu, where you're going to get mad stimulating gems. And I'm talking about diamonds and gold and silver that is going to propel you into the direction of having a more positive lifestyle, because I'm going to be supplying you with topics and concepts that are going to not only just help you in the health realm, both physical, mental, and spiritual, but also in the wealth realm, and on top of that, in the relationship realm, not only just with other people. I'm also talking with yourself, because that is the most important relationship that you should be having. So if you are down with that, please make sure that you have subscribed. And if you haven't yet, make sure you do it now, because I want to make sure that you are getting this wonderful information every single Wednesday. You're getting notified every single Wednesday, so that way you can tune into the Ankh Living podcast. And after you subscribe, make sure you go right ahead onto Instagram and you follow me at Ankh Living Podcast. Once again, that is Ankh Living Podcast, ANKH Living _podcast. So let's go into the recap from last week. Last week, I gave a nice little introductory to myself, just gave where I'm from. I'm from the Philadelphia region, so shout out to all my fellow Philadelphians. Also, I gave a little bit of hats that I wear. 3 being I'm a spiritual being, just like everybody else, just like you listening to this podcast. I am a father of twins, and I am a life partner. I also went into a few of my hobbies, which the top 3 hobbies are reading and listening to personal development. Super key. This is why we're here, for personal development. Also, watching anime, because I get so many lessons from anime. I don't know if you watch anime, but if you watch anime and you got your eye open, bruh, you get so many lessons, so much information that is applicable not only to your inner life, but also applicable to your external life. Just go ahead and watch some anime, for real, with your inner eye. And lastly, manifesting. And that is literally my process of coming up with an idea, thinking about the idea, planning for what the idea looks like, and then bringing it into the physical realm, so I can either see it, hear it, taste it, touch it, smell it, whatever the case may be. And also last week we talked about one of the most important things about the podcast, which is why it's called Ankh Living. And I called this Ankh Living because I realized that for so long I was, and I know this is true for at least 98% of the population, we are just living life. Ankh Living is about life living, in which life is happening through us, not to us. So once again, if that's information that you are willing to get, because I know that the information that I'm going to be giving to you works and has worked for me, that's the only reason why I'm giving it to you. Go ahead, if you haven't did it yet because somebody called you hooked up to the Bluetooth and it went out because your GPS went off, or whatever the case may be, make sure you subscribe, okay? And then you can go ahead and follow me on the gram and see what else I'm talking about outside of the podcast. So today I have another topic which goes into the title of this podcast. And that is life is, because we fill that ellipses after is with whatever we want it to be. Me, for example, I started for a long time, especially after I became quote unquote grown, being an independent adult, I began to say life sucks. Life is hard. Those were the two main ones. When I talked to some of my closest friends, they saying the same thing. Life is hard. There's so many people out here who believe that life is hard. And for me, I know exactly where that came from. That was not a thought that just popped into my head. It was a thought that stemmed from the fact that I did not know how to be who I am here to be. I was programmed to do exactly what everybody else does. I was programmed to do the traditional thing. You go to formal school, you have a formal education, you get through grade school, you get through high school, you go to college, and if you don't go to college, you got to immediately get a job. And we don't ever figure out or continue to learn about who we are. We don't continue to learn about how we can serve other people. We don't continue to learn about how in the world, at the age of 15, I could be a millionaire. We're not trained to figure that out. And there was a point in my life where I blamed my mother. But actually, the crazy thing is, what I had to overcome is the fact that I can't blame her for the things that she did not teach me because she did not know. Because I have a strong belief that my mother, knowing who my mom is, that she would not just purposely leave out information, leave me away from resources that are not going to move me into a direction of being as prosperous and resourceful as I possibly can. She gave me the same paradigm that she grew up with. So most of us do. Most of us do grow up with the same paradigms that our parents grow up with, our guardian grows up with, our closest friends grow up with. And unless we know that we have these paradigms, we never grow out of it. Growing out of those paradigms is the most important key. Actually, realizing that you have the paradigm is the most important key. Then after that, as I've said before, if you know better, you do better. So this is why I've created this podcast, is to help you, is potentially to help you get a little bit of introspection into your own life, so that way you can relate to what I've gone through or what I'm going through, and then be like, dang, I do the same thing. Let me see what he got to say. How's this working for him? And then we can sharpen each other. Because as they say, iron sharpens iron. But let's flip that negative statement of life is hard and life sucks and put it into a way more positive statement. Let's flip the script. Flip the script. Let's do that. And say, life is amazing. Life is beautiful. Life is love. Life is existence. Life is a journey. Life is whatever you want it to be. If you did not know, let me be the first one to tell you, if somebody else hasn't told you already, you are the creator of your life. This is a fact. If you don't believe me, that's okay. If you disagree, that's okay. But here's the proof of how we're creators of our own lives. If you have ever wanted something so bad, right? You want maybe a car. Maybe you want a new car, right? In your heart, not your mind, not your brain, your heart is set on having whatever car you're thinking of. I'm just going to throw a car out there, a Toyota Camry, right? You want the Toyota Camry, and you want the newest one. And at the time of you wanting that, at that split second, you have no idea how to get it. But then you start to think about it, and you do what you know how to do. You may have access to getting overtime. So what do you start doing? You start working overtime. Nowadays, if you got a car or a bike, you got some type of vehicle, shoot, even if you got feet, you have access to DoorDash, you have access to Lyft, Uber. I know we're in COVID times, and people are a lot of finicky about doing like Lyft and Uber especially. But I mean, you got Instacart, you got Shipt, you got Amazon. There's a lot of things that you can do. And if you don't have access to overtime at your job, I've run into so many people who literally do any of those options that I've given just so they can get vacation money. Just so it's money that they're not spending. So that's what most people start doing when they want that, for example, new car. They start to do something they know how to do, and they create the reality they wish for, which is that Toyota Camry. If that's not proof enough, I don't know what is. All we have to do is create an idea. That's why we are the creators of our own reality. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit more deep into how this really works in correspondence with life. I mean, not to say that what I'm saying now doesn't correspond to life, but yeah, that's what we are. That's why life is beautiful. That's why life is amazing. That's why I'm coming on here giving you positive energy, because even through any circumstance that I am living in at the moment, guess what? I'm keeping a positive head. And guess what a positive head is actually going to do? When you consistently have a positive head, and I'm not saying every single moment throughout the day I'm positive. I'm not saying every day is a good day. I got some bad days, but those bad days are relative to my good days. So my bad day can still be a good day. It's all about perspective. Life, for me, if you ask me on any given day, how am I? I'm at least going to say I'm doing quite well. If not, I'm probably going to say I'm amazing. I'm great. How about you? Feeling good, feeling great. How about you? Quote from Outkast. That's what I'm saying, because I realize that I am the creator of my reality. I am life living. I choose to live on an everyday basis because I understand, and overstand the power that lies within me. And if we don't understand, and overstand the power that lies within us, then we're in a heap of trouble. That's why I'm giving you this information, so you do know. And like I said earlier, when you know better, you do better. I would hope you do better. But here's an analogy I want to leave you with. We're like a garden. We're the seed and we're the gardener. We're the seed in the aspect of we just got to make a decision to grow into what we want to grow into. Because whoever you believe in, God, Allah, Spirit, Universe, the Almighty, whomever you believe in, they have placed you in the soil that is conducive for you to grow. They give you the nutrients that is required for you to be whatever you choose to be. We have to realize that we are the resource. All we have to do is create the opportunity instead of waiting for a resource and an opportunity. That's how we're the seed. The nutrients is out there, especially today because of technology. All you have to do is Google search or YouTube and you figure it out. You'll get the answer to anything. Now, on the other side of the soil, We're the gardener. Because we carry these seeds. We carry these seeds that we call ideas and goals and dreams. We carry these seeds and we have the ability to put them in soil. But here's the thing. As the gardener, we have to know, or we have to make sure we're putting the seed, first of all, in the right soil. If we don't put it in the right soil, the seed doesn't grow. The seed needs the environment that is conducive for it to grow. We also need to make sure we're feeding that seed what it needs. For example, if you want to be a dancer and you don't know how to dance, well, it's probably best that you go take a dance class in whatever specialty of dancing you please. And if you don't, you won't become a dancer. You could dance, but it's not coordinated dancing. It's kind of just like all over the place. Other people, nobody will probably understand what you're doing. They might just think that you're just moving your body. And then we have to make sure we consistently are feeding this seed. Because I don't know if you know, but if you do not feed your plant, after 3 days, it is sure to die. And you can feed your plant plenty of things besides just water and fertilizer. You can sing to it. You can talk to it. There are actually studies out there, plenty of studies that show that plants grow faster when they are talked to positively and or listen to positive music. It's a fact. So, I'm going to leave y'all with that today. Go ahead. I hope you accept the information, but I don't have control over what you do with this information I'm giving to you. But just know that it is all out of love. It is my gift to you. And I'm going to close it out with this. If nobody has yet told you that you are loved, you are beautiful, and you are amazing today yet, let me be the first. With that, I'm going to say peace and blessings, peace, love, and happiness all day, every day. I can't wait to be with y'all next Wednesday. I'm out of here. Peace.